family, and finances.
So be sure to log on each week on Wednesday at 7 p.m. to catch Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR.
Tune in.
What's up? What's up? We are back. This is Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR. And
Hey,
of course,
everybody.
I am JR, and my lovely daughter and co-host is over there, Charlie. What's up, Charlie?
Hey y'all, hey Dad, how you doing?
Hey, I'm above ground. It's a good day.
It's a good day. He is vertical.
Yep.
It's always a good day.
That's a good day, right?
I had my annual doctor's visit today, and other than her fussing at me about my iron, I was telling our guests, other than her, gently fussing at me about my iron not being where she wanted it to be. But things was looking good.
Okay, you're in good health.
Good health, and
Okay.
so I'm happy to be here.
That's
I'm
right.
happy to be here.
That's right. That's excellent. As they say, right?
Your iron, then that's nothing compared to what other people.
Compared to what other people are going through. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So, very quickly, I get a little housekeeping out of the way. I just want to thank God for the opportunity to talk to y'all again.
Yes.
And I want to go ahead and introduce our alter egos, the fly guy and the fly girls. Of course, I am, don't call it a comeback because I've been fly.
That's right.
And we got fly money over there.
We got the
and
money.
The third, the other fly is the fly girl, Kim, our producer, who is other AKA this shit's fly. Kim is not in the studio tonight, but she's with us in spirit.
That's right.
And we got Taylor over there on the knobs and faders. What's up, Taylor? How you doing? Yes,
Hey.
we are fantastic.
Yes,
so I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce our guest, Charlie, for this evening.
Yes, so our guest today is Miss Valerie Kelso.
Yes.
And she actually came to a networking event via Dr. Anderson, right? Yes. And so I'm just going to step back, and I'm going to step back all these seasons and come back forward. So every month, and our next one is going to be April 21st.
Okay.
Kiss Wolf Now hosts a networking event down at the Green Jacket. And so that's why I had the pleasure of meeting Miss Valerie.
Right.
And so y'all mark your calendars. The next one is going to be April 21st from 5:30 to 8, so make sure you come out. But Miss Valerie Kelso is a naturalist. She makes creams that heals the body and through her own experiences. And so I think oftentimes most people are able to heal themselves through their own traumas, and find out what works out for you and then what can work out for others. And so without further ado, did I miss anything in your introduction?
No, you didn't.
Okay, great. And then if y'all see us sweating,
It's a little warm.
it's a little warm in here, so
Yeah.
you may see me, and it could just be mental, but no, I feel like I'm just.
It's a little warm in here, but
It's toasty in here, like
that's
where's
warm
the
and
AC?
toasty.
I like the warm.
You like it,
Yeah,
okay?
because I'm from England, and England's really cold.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why I thought in here is going to be cold, so let me put a jacket on.
And you were wrong. Furthest from cold ever.
That's right.
So thank you for coming and hanging out in our warm, toasty show today, Speaking the Facts. So what do you want to share with the audience?
What would you like me to share? There's so much about me.
Yeah, I
You
know. Tell about you.
So, I'm from England. I've been here, I think, 13 years, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in this country.
Okay.
Since 2012, I've been in business.
Mm-hmm.
I own Purple Light Touch Foundation, PLT Massage and Wellness,
Okay.
Don't Believe the Hype Show, and I've just started a new company called Value You.
Okay. The new
And so-
you.
Okay,
Value.
so is that
The value you.
With the letter U or the word U?
With a VAL
Uh-huh.
underscore U
Okay.
score U.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you've got a vowel, you,
Yeah.
you.
Value
Okay.
you.
Value
I like
you.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
Very
I
nice.
do.
That's right. You've got
That's
to, because
why-
nobody else isn't going to
Right,
value you.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
why it's called Value You.
Yes, and that's very, very important. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I made a post today just because, again, I make posts daily because I'm talking to other people, I'm talking to myself. But first and foremost, I'm talking to me, and then y'all get the rest of y'all
That's right, get the blessing, that's right.
you get the blessing, you get to know what I'm thinking. But so many times people really miss opportunities because they want to be in their comfort zone.
Yes.
And to be an entrepreneur, to be self-employed, there's
work.
there's work. There's no comfort
work,
zone.
no.
So the only way to
Curses.
I know curses. The only way to see change and to see progress and to see shifting is to step out of your comfort zone.
That's right.
And allow yourself to grow, you know?
And that's one of the things I did, because when God told me 10 years before I came into this country, he was going to move me. He says, buy your house, only take out the mortgage for 10 years because you're going to move. And that's exactly what I did. So I decided that if God is going to move me, I'm going to travel the world.
That's
so I
right.
know where I'm going to go.
Yes.
And then he brought me to Texas.
Yes.
Because I forgot to ask him for some breeze. I thought
Yeah.
I was going to go to a Caribbean island, so I went
Right.
to Dubai, Egypt, Antigua.
Yeah,
everywhere.
you should have seen your face when you said, and then I went to Texas.
And then she came to Texas.
Because there's no breeze,
Taylor.
and it's either hot or cold. There's no in between.
Right.
And I'm thinking, God, why did you bring me to this country when you know I love the sun?
Right. The sun, yes.
He knows why he brought me here, because he brought me here to help and heal people and help
Right.
women. So
Exactly.
So you the when I met you at the networking event, we were talking about the topicals
yes.
that
and I've
that-
got some over there in the
Yeah.
bag, and I forgot to bring
Let
it
me
over.
fix this camera.
Well, you know what? In fact, Charlie, let me
guys.
get it, Charlie, because I'm
Oh.
going to adjust
Oh.
the camera. So
Yeah, right
excuse
there.
me,
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. Yeah, we are down our producer today, so you're going to see us doing some stuff, but that's quite all right. And there we go. Just slide it all the way back up, and then perfect. There we go. That way, our audience is not saying where they at. So now, you and I talked, and you the massage is one part of it.
Yes.
So, and then obviously the products to go along with the massage. Kind of, I know you started off doing massage first.
Yes.
And then moved into the products. And again, you're, as we like to say, a habitual entrepreneur. You know, you're constantly seeing a need. You're constantly seeing things that you can help and truly serve, the community
right.
with. So, of course, when you start a business, you have to, see how it works. And obviously the products that were out there, you probably felt like, gosh, they're missing something. So what made you do the technical side? Because as you say, you make all of your own stuff. So it's not like you're shipping it out and slapping a label on it.
No, because I started making products from when I first started doing massaging. This was at my for-profit company.
Uh-huh.
And I always I thought, no, there's got to be something else. So I've been making products for about 10 years.
Okay.
But then recently, when I had my car accident, well, it wasn't even a car accident when my car nearly killed me.
Right.
In my downtime, that's when God started to elevate me. Most people would have turned around and closed the business because of the injuries that I had. But God says no. And he started to work and use me to make products. So I make CBD. One of the products, this one here. This one here.
Uh-huh.
God gave me this in May.
Mm-hmm.
He gave me the ingredients, he gave me everything. He gave me the label, he told me, Valerie, make up this product. This was back in May. And I said to God, I don't need to make up no trauma blends. Nobody in here isn't coming with trauma.
Right.
And I wasn't making it up for other people. I was making it up for myself, because little did I know, in August, my own car was going to run me over. And it was in October when God says, now are you ready to make up the trauma blend? I had everything in there is all natural.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? All my creams have got no fillers.
Right. Which is
So you've got
excellent.
to shake the bottle, and every morning I have to put it on my face, because you can still see the scar.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably see the scar. I got a plate in my mouth. I had 2 fractured skull. My shoulder, you can see, I'll show you right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big bruise.
Right?
Yeah.
And the worst, and this one on my knee.
Wow.
If it wasn't for my products, I wouldn't be walking today. And God sent this lady who I knew her from church. We didn't go to the same church. And God sent this lady to me like an angel. And all the years I've known this lady, I did not know she was a trauma care specialist. And she came to my house and she started to heal my wounds for me. And then
Right.
when she couldn't come anymore, I had to do my own self-care. And sometimes God will wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and says, Val, it's time for you to get up, start fixing your body. And that's what I started to do.
Right.
And it was, don't get me wrong, it was a painful, but I still don't remember the accident to this day. I don't.
And you said something so poignant, and that is when you woke up, you listened to your body. You know, your body is your temple, and so many people don't listen to their body,
right.
Yes.
and they don't make it because they ignore these simple things that, you know, and I don't want to say simple, but, you know, if you have an ache, if you have a pain, it's okay to check it out, you know. And
That's
I say
right.
it, I'm speaking to myself, you know. Sometimes we move so quickly, and we like, oh, you know, we'll take care of it later. Oh, we'll take care of it later. But there may not be a later.
That's
later.
right.
So
And
really listening
see,
to
this
your
is how it
body.
looks,
I want
like
to-
this.
If I smell this, this is. Oh, that smells wonderful.
Let me smell it.
All my products
That
are,
smells wonderful.
all my products are,
I
they've got
definitely-
about 15, 16. All my products.
I want to focus on what you said a
Yeah.
minute ago about, you know, God getting you up in the morning and saying it's time to work, get up and work on your
It's
Yeah.
so
body.
amazing.
Because as some days I got to tell you I don't want to, but I think I was telling you when I met you at the networking event that I get up between 4 and 4:30 every morning, and I you know, and I do yoga, and I stretch and I, you know, and I work out and I pray and meditate, and those things are essential for me to be able to move like I do.
I ain't
And
getting up at 4:30 in the morning unless I need the restroom.
right, just getting up and so I'm very interested in your products, and we will definitely I want to listen to them.
And see,
Listen
that
to you
one's a
now.
sinus, but it's not just for sinus, it's for people who have got vertigo
So where would you rub this on?
on your forehead.
On you, and it's okay. And what
Or
is this one called?
It's for your sinuses. Anybody who's got sinus, vertigo, any pain in the face, headaches, that's got a lot of oil.
Now all of these products in this bag, the label says nobody but God.
Yes.
And is that's the
That's my name.
That's the name. Okay.
Because-
Let me smell that one too.
And this one is sinus, chest, head congestion relief. And it's a
Yes.
eucalyptus blend, and this one smells wonderful as well.
And then this is my original pain blends.
Oh, and this is the original pain blend.
Yeah.
So this would just be for any pain
Yes.
you're having, and this is all natural
this is so
ingredients.
good.
This would be a
Can you
topical.
smell it?
And let me.
You can use it because I'm going to leave it with you.
Oh.
Oh, okay. well,
Oh
thank
yes,
you.
because and let me
I will
just
go ahead and
let
put
me
them
just
on here, a
encourage
little
people
bit here.
to use
Natural.
natural ingredient,
Yeah.
natural topicals as opposed to
This
popping a
smells so
pill
good.
in your mouth every time you have some pain.
Y'all, it opens you up. I put it on my temples.
But really, as opposed to using natural topicals as opposed to popping a pill in your mouth every
This is
time
so
you have some pain.
nice.
Can let me try
Yeah,
some of
listen,
that?
I put it on my temples, I
Yes.
put it on my nose, and it just opens
because
you up.
because our organs, when you start popping those pills, those chemical pills,
right.
they really attack your organs.
You have
your
something
kidneys,
in that bag to make you cool off?
your kidney, but your kidneys, your liver, they really attack those. I have a friend in California, a dear friend, like a brother, who's going to be on dialysis the rest of
Taylor.
his life.
Can you slide it over a little
And
bit?
he started,
one in the front.
his kidneys started failing him because he was taking too much ibuprofen.
You know,
And-
what they don't tell you about those pills, it's also a cancer
See,
causing
you
pill.
can't see that.
Yes.
And people
Okay,
don't
perfect.
know this. And they keep pumping us to keep taking those pills.
Yeah, they pump us
What
to-
people are not realizing, the pills that they're taking. I used to be on dihydrocodeine, lansoprazole, bisocoldol, tramadol, remedine, diclofenac. I've taken, you name it, every pain pill that you can think of. And it wasn't until I started to make my own oils that I do not need no pharmaceutical drugs. Even when I had all this injury, one of the lady kept saying to me, "Oh, don't take the pills because you're going to become addicted to it." And I said, "No, I'm not, because I know what it feels like."
Well, I just want to say that
Yeah.
I just rubbed this sinus, chest, head congestion blend under my nose. It is opening up my, but it's relaxing.
It's
too.
very, that's what
It
I
is
am telling you, it's
relaxing.
very
I
relaxing.
am just this. Whew, I love this. I
Yeah.
love this. I want to make sure. So I want to ask several times during
Yeah.
the podcast. How can people reach you? This is the first time we're going to ask again. How can
Life
people reach you?
Church Foundation, they can call me on 817
817
350-0444.
350-0444.
I just shut down my Shopify because I want to make sure I do things correctly, because God like us to be good.
And if a person goes to Shopify, would they look for nobody but
No,
God?
she shut it down.
I just did that
Oh.
this week because I was thinking, well, why am I paying for something that I'm not using properly? So I'm taking a course.
Okay.
So I can learn how to do, because I'm the type of person, if I want to know something, I'm going to take a course in it.
Well, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You can't run a business and you don't know how to run your own business.
Right.
That's why my PLT is called Taking Care of Your Business, Mind Your Own Business.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes.
see what I'm saying?
Mind the business
This
and
is
patient,
wonderful.
honey.
And
That is wonderful.
This is a pain. But you know, with this, you only need, you see that little bit?
Uh-huh.
That's all you need.
Well, I actually,
Right.
let me try a little bit of this because I
Wait.
have
Hold
stiffness
on.
right here.
She's gonna do it for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see how it's oily? Because it's oils. There's about 20 oils in that bottle.
Okay.
And when you put any of my cream on, you see how I'm just rubbing it on?
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you put cream on. You see all this tightness here you got in the back of the neck? That should not be there, right? So that's already telling me, you see how his arm can't go up?
Well, it can,
No, it
but
can't, because it's pulling. You're forcing it up. You should never have to force your arm up.
so
Look at that. Okay.
there should be a line outside to get this
Right.
to get this.
You see what I'm saying? See the difference?
Yes.
You should never have to force your arm to go
Yeah,
up.
so you can
It's
see it. You
supposed-
can see
It's
it.
supposed to go up natural. Now, if you was on my table, I would be cleaning out your side. Because what people don't realize, the side is the most important part of the body. That's why Satan pierced Jesus' side.
Yeah.
It's a reminder to let us know that side is important.
The sides are
because
important.
that's where all the lymphatic drainage has to go through.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't drain, then your body starts swelling
My-
and things start happening to the body. Now you know that pain that I just did. You feel it?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say this kind of has a relaxing effect, just like
All of them.
That is so cool.
You feel
Yeah,
the
and you know,
difference?
Yeah.
and like even
See, now it moves. Now
so-
your arm goes up.
yeah.
So no one shouldn't have no pain in the shoulders and neck,
Right.
because you should be able to can fix it yourself.
And we're gonna ask how people can reach you again, but this is the Nobody But God
Nobody
pain
But
blend. that
God.
she
Okay, I
just
think I
rubbed on.
got to remember. It was 817-354.
No, 350.
350-0444. 350-0444. Look at just that
Yes.
quick, y'all.
Yeah.
And if the call, we do ship out. We go, you know, I mean, my product's gone to England, it's gone to Jamaica, it's gone to a lot of places.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's not just staying here in Texas.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then this one is our CBD.
Oh, okay.
I don't smoke and I don't drink, but
Right.
that don't mean I can't make a little bit of CBD
that's right.
for
Yeah, no, but
somebody else.
CBD,
Well,
exactly.
you know, I mean, so much people. There is so much
This smells so
propaganda
good.
about
CBD,
marijuana
that's
that people aren't educated about all the things that
So
come
good.
from the marijuana stuff.
And you know why? You know, like in Jamaica, they stopped the marijuana, right?
Uh-huh.
And the only reason why they can't make it legal right now is because if they make it legal, how many black men would be out of prison tomorrow? And so they can't make it legal because they know it's not a drug that's going to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
They're not doing nothing about fentanyl. They're not doing nothing about coke. They're
No.
not doing nothing about those hard drugs. But they know the healing property that is inside CBD,
Yeah.
cannabis, ganja.
Yeah.
And usually, who takes the most cannabis? Black people.
Right.
Because we know the true meaning of these herbs.
There are medicines that are made from the
That's
marijuana
right.
plant. That there are so much clothes, paper. There's so much that
Right.
that the marijuana
That's
plant
right.
gives us our daily lives that people are not
Very,
aware
very,
of
yeah.
No,
at all.
that's right.
Yeah.
Because they used to make it. They used in Jamaica. It's a tea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
There's so
Yeah.
so much. So I have to smell this.
See.
And what is this one that I have in my
This
hand?
is the
That's
CBD
a balm.
extra strength
Yeah.
infused
So
pain
this is
cream.
a cream.
It still smells wonderful.
And this
Yeah.
one here is a balm.
And that's
okay.
a balm because
Now, what's
once-
the difference in a cream and a balm for guys like me who don't know the difference between the cream?
Okay,
Where's the top for this one?
I've got it in my
Okay.
hand. Put your fingers in there.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a cream.
that's the cream. Okay.
Yeah, and the
Yes.
balm
Kinda-
is
Yeah. See, it's
sorry.
thicker. So
Yes.
it's more like a Vaseline base. So you can stretch it longer.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like my stuff and myself,
so good.
I will put everything in one tin.
Mm-hmm.
And I make, because she keeps saying, you need to make the trauma blend, the CBD, the pain blend, and make one.
And y'all, it's not, even though it's oils, it's not greasy. Some
No.
products
It won't.
do not actually go into your dermis. And so to have something that actually soaks into your skin, and y'all saw I put the what is on my temples and up under my nose and around my nose, and my
Oh,
face is
yeah,
not
in fact, I'm gonna put some of that on my
extra,
temples,
greasy or shiny.
yeah.
And then I put this on my hand, and
So-
and you can see how it just
When you
soaks
put-
right into
and
your skin.
You see, like how you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when you put it in your hand, or use any of my products, you
It goes right
put
in.
it right in.
Yeah.
Don't just rub it on top.
Right.
Because it's just like rubbing surface.
Right.
You want it to go into the joints.
That's right.
Because people don't have to have arthritis. It's just that no one's not telling
Taking
us
to
how
massage
to
your
massage and move the joints, move your fingers.
Right.
Let your fingers know they're all separate.
Right.
You see, like now, I've rubbed it into your hands.
Yes.
And
These products are great, everybody. We are
Mhm.
trying them
Yes,
right here.
definitely.
We are trying
Yeah,
them
I'm
right
like,
here.
this is amazing.
and you can see, you can put your hands, it's not
Yeah,
even leaving
it's nothing there.
not
I mean,
leaving anything on
yeah,
your hands.
These-
nothing at all. But it's
These products are amazing. I just rubbed
Right.
some of this on my temples, and that same relaxing effect started coming over. Yeah, no, these
I'm
products
like
are
floating
these
right
are-
now.
yeah,
This,
these
yeah.
products
And when
are
you
great.
put it on your temple, move everything off that bone.
Yeah.
Take everything off the bone. The key to the body is not having things stuck to the bone.
Right.
And that's what people don't. You can keep
Oh,
it.
okay, I'm gonna.
I love it.
I'm
Yes.
gonna put it right
like
here.
me and Dad will be doing karate chops. We'll be
Yeah, I
like,
know.
okay,
I know. It's
I
like-
got the
I got
CBD.
the.
You can. I'll see you again. So next time I see you, I'll make sure you get something. So
Yeah.
you can fight over it all you want. You can split them in half.
Right,
So
right.
you tell him get a spoon, just cut it in half, and then he takes off, you
Right.
take
Look
off.
at no. We'll do a joint custody. So he'll have him one week, and then I'll have him the following
You know what I'm
week.
saying?
That's right. That's right.
And that's all you
That's
do. You always rub products on your joints.
Yes.
Yes.
It's the joints that keep us moving.
right. Oh
Not
yeah.
here.
Right. The
It's
joints.
always the joints.
Yes. Yeah,
This
no,
is so good.
I work on, like I said, that yoga. That's one thing that helps my joints to stay stretched out, so that I can move.
Rotate your fingers,
Yeah.
move your
Yeah,
fingers,
no, I
move
stretch,
your wrists.
Yeah, no, I do all
Move
that
your
every day. I
wrists up and
stretch
down.
these, and
Let the joints know they need movement.
even my toes, I
Yes.
I stretch those every day because it's like,
You've got to keep
Yeah,
your body
it's
moving.
true.
We don't get to our age and not move.
Yeah, you
know what I
gotta
mean?
move. Yeah.
Now I want to brag on Valerie for a second because I happen to know that she's in her 60s, but she is just glowing.
I know you would not know it.
No.
That's because I'm pregnant. No,
I know, right. Yes.
Oh, my sense of humor. She said, "I'm
I'm
pregnant."
sorry.
No, that's no problem. No, I'm just saying. All of a sudden, the movie "I'm Gonna Get You" sucker popped into my
Yeah,
head.
right, yeah,
When
right.
Bernie Casey was like, "You ain't saying nothing to Daddy, are you?"
Yeah.
But no, really,
amazing.
it's only
Yeah.
because you said I was glowing. And
Yeah.
usually
Yeah. Exactly. No, you're good. No.
But you are
Yeah.
glowing,
Yes.
and to be able to glow without being pregnant. See, that's
You
the
know
that's
what
the
I'm
trick.
saying?
See?
Right, Dad, you know.
that's nobody but God.
That's
Nobody
right.
but God, yes.
Nobody but God. He's the one that carries me every single day.
Yes.
I could not be standing here if it wasn't for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't look at myself and say me, because there's no such word as me.
Right.
It's we.
It's
Right.
me. Yeah.
Right.
I was telling
It's we.
because I teach in schools and I was telling as a matter of fact, Mayor Boardingham, the mayor of Forest Hill, asked me to do remember that Saturday, she asked me to do a team building exercise. And I was going to do this fancy, elaborate thing, and all of a sudden, last second, God said, scratch that, and gave me something else. But anyway, I told them that I think it was 1975, Muhammad Ali did the commencement ceremony at I He was Harvard. He did the commencement ceremony at Harvard. So
Okay.
of course, there's
Nice.
He's telling us his age.
Yeah, look at. Thank you. You my sister. I always
see,
give him a hard
see,
time
wait, no,
about
that's-
his age,
That's right.
and she was like, "He's telling." Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, sister.
Yes, that's okay. That's because I
You can come back
I
anytime.
saw Muhammad Ali's first fight, and I did too. I was little, but I did. But he was walking up to the mic, and because he was always making rhymes and poems, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, you can't, but you can't see, blah, blah. So he was always rhyming. So as he walked up to the mic, somebody said, "Give us a poem." So he stood there a second, and what he said is now on record as the shortest literary poem in
wow.
history. He walked up to the mic and he said, "Me, we," and turned around and walked back from the mic.
Oh wow.
And so when you said it's not I as we, that moment from Muhammad Ali pops into my head, because really it is what happens to one of us is going to happen to all of us.
That's right. And
You
when
know.
I say we, it's because I always look at this: Father, Jesus came from the womb, Son, Holy Spirit walks and talks with us.
Right.
So even when I had my accident, it wasn't me. I didn't take the full brunt, because they took some of the brunt for me. That's why I don't remember anything about the accident.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I got the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So it was we. All three of them took the same brunt, but they gave me my portion, and they took their portion.
Yeah, and and
That's
that's
like very well said.
yeah.
So that's why I always say it's not.
Well,
me.
it is we. It is
Yeah.
it is we spiritually. It is we as a people. It is we. But yeah, it is definitely we spiritually, and how that's why I like the representation of footsteps. When you see Jesus carrying the person, and then there's two sets of footprints, and all of a sudden there's one. He says, "Well, what happened to the footprints?" He said, "Well, there's only one because I was carrying you."
That's right.
Yes.
And so there are times when we are carried. We're not even realizing. I know there's times in my life when I was carried.
lot of
Many,
times.
so
Many
many,
times.
so
Right.
many. I could elaborate on my sordid past, and maybe I will on the podcast on another day, just to let people know that there is redemption, there is healing, there is, because from where I've been to be sitting here at 67, about to be 68.
Told you.
Father
was always-
time, Father time's remember that.
But for me to be sitting here as I am, it is nothing but being
But you
blessed,
look good.
being blessed
Yes.
with God's redemption, His healing, all of that. Just being blessed, by just opening up and allowing it to happen, becoming
Right.
part of the process.
Exactly.
You know.
Being part of the process, realizing that, like you said, the redemption from it, and realizing that, it's just the old saying, you know better, you do better. So there's a lot of things that we do out of ignorance. We just don't know.
don't know.
Right.
That's
And
right.
and through maturity, that's when we get an understanding, and that's when God says, okay, now you know.
Right.
So are you going to keep on doing
That's
it?
right.
And then, so what comes to you comes to you. But if you don't know, you're ignorant to it, then you find out that it's wrong, you correct it, then it's a renewal.
That's right.
Right, that's where renewal is knowing and then doing. But
Yeah.
but there can be, and a lady, I was out on one of the entrepreneurial jobs I took. I was traveling around with a consulting group, and we were going when the military went from the benefits plan that they had to the one that they have now. See, now
Right.
you can't just do 20 years in the military and get out and sit there like a vegetable. You have to get promoted. There are performance
wow.
standards in the military now. And if you don't reach a certain rank at a certain by a certain time, they put you out.
That's crazy.
So anyway, when that was being implemented, I was one of the consulting groups that was going around talking to soldiers, and the lady that was heading it, her name is Prestel Askia, and I remember it was something I was struggling with, and we were discussing it, and she said, there doesn't have to be, but there can be, and for many people there is a chasm between knowing what to do and doing it,
That's right.
and that's where. As human beings, we struggle because a lot of us do know that we're rebellious.
Right, yeah.
We
That's
don't.
that rebellious
Yeah,
spirit,
we're a
and that's
rebellious
what, to
spirit
me,
and
I
don't
think that's
want
what
to
we
do it.
run
Right,
the-
because you have a lot of people who
Yeah.
say, you can tell me how to do it, but you can't do it for me, right?
That's
right.
And so that's where that rebellious piece comes in, because it's like, if you can take the time to tell me to do it, why can't you do it? Well, oftentimes that's how we learn,
Or sometimes
you
people might think that you're telling them something when you're not,
Yeah.
and they can read into something that you're not saying. So if I tell you, can you move the chair? Well, why can't you move it yourself?
Right.
Well, it's not that I can't move it. I'm asking you to do
Right.
something.
Something. Right.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, a lot of times now, a lot of people will look at that you're bossing them around.
Right.
Right.
When you're not bossing them around.
Right. Well, I mean,
They're not looking at that. You may see that
No.
they can move the chair. That sometimes.
And they might have been closer to the chair.
Right. I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
having the spirit of helps. That is a spiritual gift, a gift of helps.
Right, yeah.
Being willing to help someone just because they might ask or need it,
Right,
for no
that's
other
right.
reason.
Yeah.
And when we can do that and just give without wondering what we're getting out of it, that's
huge.
when our hearts become lighter and that
As
we
we be
can.
true.
And that
Pure
person
spirit.
don't even know that when you told them to move the chair, there was a blessing waiting
Right.
for them.
Right.
And that's another thing that,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We
That's true.
sometimes miss our blessing because of our own ignorance.
Right, yeah, we do because
Yeah.
of our pride.
Yeah.
Our pride is definitely one of the 7 deadly sins. There's nothing wrong with having pride, but there's a difference in having pride and being prideful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There is a difference. When you have pride, you just have this spirit of wanting to be your best, do your best at all times.
That's
That's
right.
having pride. But being prideful is letting that image that you hold in your head dictate how you deal with others.
Right.
And it shouldn't dictate how you deal with others. I should be
Because
able to.
people can also perceive you in a negative
Exactly.
light.
Exactly. They
When
can.
sometimes you don't need to be seen in that negative light.
Right.
It's just a matter of, in the world we're living in right now, it's like everybody is just like, it's a dog-eat-dog world. People are changing.
Yes.
Remember when, I'm telling my age similar
Yeah.
to
Oh, let them know. Oh, okay. She gonna tell it.
not quite. Remember when we was growing up, and if you hurt yourself, you would carry somebody with you. Now if somebody hurt themselves, the first thing everybody wants to do is take out the cell phone.
Yeah.
No one don't
yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
you
No
gotta
one
be able
don't
to
want to
help.
help. But in nowadays, everybody was helping each other.
Right.
Community was a community.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And I think part of it is, people, like everything is just acceptable nowadays, so it's just it's acceptable not to help. It's acceptable not to say something. It's just so acceptable. Like, not that I could have said anything, but this weekend I was in Florida, and there was a guy walking down the street, and he was sagging, and this is Florida, so I gotta again say this is Florida. So Florida is different than Texas, so he actually had a thong on, and I was like, I've never seen somebody sag
With
Oh,
a thong.
wow.
with a thong on. And so it was just cheeks.
Did you want to sing tongue to tongue?
Right. It was just
I know,
cheeks.
that's what I was
It was just
thinking.
cheeks, and I was just like, he's just walking down the
That's
street,
like Cisco should have been there.
and nobody, and this to be walking down the street, like, and I don't know, like, I was like, okay, then I was on a question. I was like, okay, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. Like, can you walk around and nobody cares if your cheeks are out? Maybe, I don't know. But again, nobody said anything. Just everybody did what I did. Like, okay, like.
Some of my weirdest experiences have been in Florida. I have to say.
And for all my Florida people out there, hey,
And for the
y'all.
Florida people that we don't want to offend anybody. So
Yeah.
You've
they're-
already offended them.
I know, right?
yeah.
The
he
man
wants to
walking
go
down the
down.
street with his cheeks out offended them,
Yeah,
not me.
I was in a theater company, and we were on tour, and the tour took us to Miami-Dade College,
Okay.
which so they put us in this hotel, and we probably got there at 1 o'clock in the morning, and when you walked in the hotel, there was like the restaurant's over here, and then the front desk is here. We're standing at the front desk, and all of a sudden, from the restaurant side, this woman walks through, and she's got this shirt over her face filled with blood, and then there's this guy behind her, screaming and hollering and calling her everything but a child of God, and they go into this elevator, and the door's closed. But what got me, firstly, was that I mean, there's people in the restaurant, there's people in the lobby. Not one person looked up. Not one. Not one person was like, "What's going on?" You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody. So that let us know that this was a common occurrence.
Right, yeah.
Because no one was alarmed. No one looked up. No one said, "Help that person." This
Right.
was something that happened all the time, and at the same hotel, even before we told them.
What color was the person?
They were the guy that was following the lady was black. I think the lady was Hispanic or something. But
Because that makes a big difference
well,
to the color of it does.
well,
'Cause
yeah,
I
for
did
people
it-
that are willing to help, it shouldn't, but it does.
Because I did a bystander program, and people tend to want to help a white person over helping a black person. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And there's been loads of studies how people don't want to help black people when we're in distress.
Right.
It's like they let us get on with it. But if it was a white person, they would have jumped up and said, "Oh,
Well, and
right."
yeah, and it,
So-
you know, and even not even just that. Like, so my son's car broke down a little bit ago, and so he was stranded, and so I had to go help him. And I was like, "Trey, did anybody stop?" Well, you know, he had to go to work, so Jasmine took him on to work. And so when he called to check on me, I said, "Hey, did anybody stop and ask you if you needed help?" He goes, "No, everybody just drove past me." But while I was there, I had probably 15 people stop and
Yeah,
ask
well,
me
look
if I
how
needed help.
sexy you looking.
Well,
Damn girl.
Like, damn, so in
Well, you know,
distress.
hey,
You know what I mean?
tell my grandson to keep his skirt in the car for just
No,
such an emergency.
you don't want
To
that.
break out those legs.
Oh, you don't want that.
Yeah, but but I was like, so I really was, feeling a type of way. I won't say some type of way because I know how I felt, a type of way about the situation because, he's a young male, black male, obviously the car's broken down and everybody kept going, Now, granted, I'm a black female, but, that people were stopping to help me and not him. So, I was just like, wow,
you don't look
same car.
threatening. No,
Yeah,
but you don't look threatening.
but that's what my issue was. I was like, oh, wow. So in my eyes, my son doesn't look
thank
threatening.
you.
My son doesn't look threatening.
It doesn't look threatening.
Yeah,
but
but-
look at you. Thank you.
Yes, yeah,
But
so-
you're different. You understand
exactly.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know. I get it, and I
And
felt it. And
so-
I just felt kind of sad for. I was like, shoot, you know what I mean? Like, gosh, we,
Yeah,
it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't be that way.
But that's what
Yeah.
I was saying earlier on. It's a way of life now.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like I have 8 ladies I'm helping right now, and 2 of them asked me, "Why are you helping us?"
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't understand me being a Christian. Why am I helping someone
Yeah.
like of them? And I said, because it's not for me to judge who you are. That's for God.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so, as soon as you call them, yeah, we can help you, Miss Valerie. So I'm teaching them now business skills. I'm teaching them how
That is
to
so good.
value themselves. And one of them, I said to her today, do you know people want to buy your product because whatever you put in there, people love the smell. And I could have sold your product. And she said, Miss Valerie, that made me feel good. That makes me want to make more products. I said, I
Right.
could have sold nearly all your products already if you'd have put a price on it. And they kept asking me, so how much is this? And I said, it's not for me to put a price. These ladies need to put a price on their products because it's theirs. And that shows how much they value themselves.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
You know
and,
what I'm saying?
and that's so
So-
true. The value comes from worth.
That's right.
What is the worth? What is it that you're putting into it?
Right.
And then that speaks for itself.
And so she says, and so I says, when you put your price on your products, then I will help you to sell it, but I'm not going to sell it and says, well, she wants $20 for this when you felt that I robbed you when you wanted 30. She's got to give me it because I've got 8 of them. They made their own lotions. I'm teaching them all what I know.
Oh, that's
The reason
excellent.
why, I'm in my 60s. I'm not going to be here forever.
I love
And
that.
you've got to teach young girls how to
Right.
fish
Yes.
Right.
and make their own business. And I said, just because I make oils, that don't mean you can't make oils and make things
Yeah,
for yourself.
yeah.
And so it gives me great pleasure. I mean, don't get me wrong, I haven't even got the money. I rely on Facebook. I'm reaching out on my page. Can somebody give me some donations? I need to get this, I need to get that.
Yeah.
And people will donate if
Mm-hmm.
they see the cause and they see the need.
Right.
Yes.
Because I'll be honest with you, after my car accident, I don't even know to this day how I'm still in business. Only God knows why I'm still
Yes,
in business.
yes.
But you allowed God to move you instead of
Yeah.
feeling like you had to. You allowed God to fix it instead of feeling like you had to fix it yourself.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, yeah, God will carry you through. He's a provider.
And that's
And
right. That's
he
right.
will constantly provide for you as long as you're faithful and you follow, you listen. He is going to provide for you.
And that's one of the things I told God when I came into this country, when I didn't even know what I was going to do, because I thought I was going to work in Walmart, because God told me he was going to use me. And so when he gave me the vision of opening up a place just for women and girls who've been through sexual assault, cancer, domestic violence, bullying, any form of trauma. So I never know who's going to come through our door. But at the same time, even if I haven't got the money, God is going to provide the money. Somebody out there will say, Valerie, here you are.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't know why God chose me to do this, but he did. I don't know why he told me to leave England, but when he told me to leave my daughter, my grandchildren, I did. I haven't got no family here. So how can I still be in business for over 12 years when I got no family in this country? Because
Right.
it's nobody but God.
Yes.
And you know, faith is faith is the essence of faith is the essence of our existence. As a matter of fact, I was in Kansas City last week and I bought that bracelet that says
Okay.
Faith Walker, because but faith is the essence of our existence, and if we won't have faith in God, then we're not going to have faith in ourselves.
That's right.
And if we don't have faith in ourselves, then who's going to have
Who you
faith
gonna have faith
us?
in?
Right. And I have been blessed to be surrounded by several people. First and foremost, my daughter over there, who is she lives based on her faith.
I do.
And
You've
it
got
is
to.
and it is that's another thing that people don't realize, because they avoid, they see someone that's got some faith and got some energy, and a lot of people avoid them because, like you said, they don't want to get pulled out of their comfort zone.
That's
Right.
right.
But faith is infectious if you'll allow it to move through you and for you. Faith is infectious. It will get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. It'll get you to go places you wouldn't go, do things you wouldn't do, and not worry about it.
That's right.
Because you're operating in faith, so you're not going to have that anxiety, and
And that's so true.
I
Just
mean,
the
don't get
ang-
me wrong. I'll agree with you and I disagree with you. Because even though I got faith in God,
yeah.
sometimes my human nature allows me to think differently.
Right, but when
Right.
it does, you don't stay there very long.
Not when you pay the bill.
Well, right, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you understand
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly. No,
Because
it's
I've been in
true.
my work and I'm thinking, God, I've got to find $3,500. I haven't made enough money this month to pay all the bills, because I'm the one who pay all the bills, the electric, everything.
Yeah.
We doing massages, right? And I've got a prayer room in my place. It's not the typical massage establishment you would walk in. And when I walk into that prayer room, it's on.
Right.
Me and God it's on. And I'll say, God, please, I can't do this. You're giving me a panic attack. You're giving me anxiety. I can't run your business like this with no money in my pocket. And then it's like I'm talking to you now, and God would look at me and say, Valerie, didn't I pay the bill last month? Yes, God. Didn't I pay the month? Yes, God. And then all of a sudden, somebody will knock on my door. And said I was driving past, and I was told I needed to come in here.
That's right.
And then they would buy a package from me. And I says, God, I promise you I won't come back again. Give me 3-4 months.
Right.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Why?
Because you have another.
Because
We're human, and it's,
Right.
And you get lifted when you need it.
Yeah.
Like today, I've been having a rough day, family. And it's just a lot. And so And so for me, I got an email today, like it was like kind of like everything was hitting all at once. I'm like, ooh, okay, God. And I got an email that says, I showed it to you, Dad.
Yeah.
And it said, dear Charlamagne Armstrong, out of 3,000 agents, you were number 6 in the DFW area
excellent.
for helping first-time homebuyers, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, wow, I really do serve. A lot of people say, oh, I help first time. No, I truly do help. And I'm not saying anything against anybody, but I really do, And it is a little bit stressful helping first time home buyers because first time home buyers have a little bit, they got a little, well, not even babysit, it's just they have more twists and turns and things to figure out, you know what I mean? And so, but I'm like, okay, God, thank you, so like, that was just like, okay, yes. And I was like, I needed that at that moment. I needed that email. That made me smile. That just said, okay, Charlamagne, this is why you do it. Because, when you're in the trenches, you don't look up,
That's right.
But then you get that, and it's like, wow, okay. Because I don't pay attention to numbers. So to know that I help that many people, I'm like, okay, it's all, the stress is all worth it.
It is.
And it is, that we are not commanded to be perfect. And I wanted to say that a minute ago when you said we have to be faithful. Being faithful does not mean being perfect.
That's
a lot
right.
of people avoid walking in being spiritually educated because they think they have to. They think the measures that they have to be perfect.
That's right.
And you don't. Righteous living is not perfect. Is not perfect living.
No, it's not.
Righteous living is the walk towards perfection, or at least as best as I can do it.
Right,
but
because
perfection is not required.
Right. So, and that's the thing. A lot of people think like, okay, well, did I get this right? Did I get this wrong? No. Did you do it righteously? And that's what matters.
That's right.
Yes,
that's what matters. If you can do it righteously, then you're not trying to maliciously hurt anyone. And what's righteous for you may not be righteous for the next person, but there maybe it's a different situation for you. You know what I mean?
And everybody's step
is different.
different.
It's different. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's how many non-profits out there, and yet we all want to serve people.
Right.
But we all do it differently.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And if we serve according to how God instructs us,
That's
then we
right.
don't have to worry about the result. Because
That's
literally
right.
what we're supposed to do in our walk, we're supposed to be like Johnny Appleseed. We're supposed to plant seed and not worry about, and walk away and not worry about, and let God cultivate it.
That's right.
And
help somebody else.
Yeah, and help somebody else.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Or
Right.
Because no one's an island. So to me, if you see somebody struggling, you're supposed to say, and you've got the need, or you can help them, help the person.
Right. And matter of fact, I'm not even going to say what it was, but I had an occasion to do that for someone today at Walmart. Just the person was struggling, and I just was compelled to help end that struggle.
Right, that's just like when we were at Burger King, and me and you was just chatting, but I was paying attention to the lady to my left.
Oh, right.
She had quarters on the counter, trying to count for her food, and the person behind the counter is just watching. You got enough quarters yet? And I was just like, you know what? So I told the person, I said, I got that, and they're like, okay. So they told her, that I wasn't expecting them to tell her that I got it, but they did, and then Dad helped her out with money too. But it's just like, when we're trying to eat or whatever we're trying to do, sometimes, we might need help with the light bill. We
Right.
may need
That's
help with the
right.
car insurance, car payment, know how to skip a month. There's things out there to help people.
It's funny because you help someone. I help the ladies get into a room tonight, and it's like when I told you last night, I had your card on my floor right beside me all night, and then I got this call. And that's how God will orchestrate things.
Yeah.
Because you never know what God is going to do in
That's
your
true.
life. Maybe there's somebody out there that needed to hear this.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And somebody
And we need to hear it.
We
If
needed to
something's
hear
wrong,
that because I did want to mention that there are two entrepreneurs sitting beside me who have endured some things, who have endured some struggle and have overcome to tell the story, and that is important for people to hear
That's right.
because like you said earlier, being an entrepreneur, there are no comfort days. Now, days can be comfortable,
Right.
you know, but there are not any comfort days when you can say, you know, everything is just is hunky dory, and I'm gonna, you know, and that's no.
I look at a hunky dory. I know.
It's like, you know, so. See,
That
y'all,
came across the fax machine,
one of
didn't
these
it?
days, one of these days, I'm gonna have our audience to just come to my aid and
Yeah.
stop my daughter and co-host from picking on me about my age. But
Right.
but
Yeah,
that's-
but you shouldn't.
but you know, I'm teasing
Your
because-
age is you look good for your age.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
no,
Right?
I am grateful, like I said, and
You know what I'm saying? When I get to your age, I hope I look the same, not with less grey hairs.
Oh, let's
That's gray hair. I know, right? I know. Right? Us ladies are worried about the gray hair.
Ladies are worried about the gray.
You know,
I'm not.
You know.
Yeah.
I used to, but you know what? They said it's wisdom,
That's right. That's right.
and I don't need no grey hairs to show that I'm wise.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, I should be seen.
But you don't have a lot of gray, which is awesome. She's like, I see it.
You
You
like
don't.
this?
You really don't.
I do. When I get stressed,
Yeah, with
you
it.
know what I mean?
Right.
They'll start
One or two-
coming out. Yeah.
yeah.
But I try not to.
Exactly.
And I don't know. I think I'm kind of sexist
Okay.
when it comes to this because like ladies that dye their hair, they look more natural and better than men who dye their hair.
Oh, yeah.
You know, for me, if men that dye their hair, they look like old people with dye in their hair.
Well, you
know, and
because they overdo it. That's why. And now that you're
Right.
putting in all that black stuff. That
Yeah, and it's like
why?
Yeah, and it's like
I know. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all see Smokey Robinson the other day when he crept out on stage.
Oh.
You see his show? His hair was all dark, and he was working it out there. You know, he was surely gonna get to the middle of the stage. But I was like, okay, go ahead, Smokey.
Yeah, but for me, it's like, anything I have to do repetitively, I have to have some immediate results, some kind. And me dyeing my hair.
You know what? I just thought about that. Iron deficiency means that you get more gray hairs.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you can reverse the gray hairs by having your iron.
Well, actually,
I
see, y'all, I get it coming and going. Taylor's not
It
even
looks
helping
good.
me.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I know. I'm a.
It looks good.
I'm a rock the gray, and because there's going to be more.
That's
so,
right.
There's going to be
So-
more. But entrepreneurship is it takes faith.
It does.
It does
It
take faith to
does.
be an entrepreneur. It
Faith
takes,
is a mustard seed, because I
Yeah.
promise you, as you say, there's days. But you know what though, we gotta close it down. But I will say this, you guys, in my entrepreneurial days, and I think you probably felt the same way. When I hate to say lost something, because if something goes away, it wasn't meant for you to have.
Yeah.
But if something goes away, I feel like God obviously places it by twos and threes. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
And so I believe that, and so. So in our entrepreneurial walks, we have to believe that we are going to have what we need and that we are going to be good enough. Like what we're providing is worth. And I feel like whenever we are trying to help God's sheep, then we are genuinely with a pure heart trying to help God's sheep, then we are able to continue to do what He would have us do.
That's right.
So 817-350-0444. That is how you get in touch with
Yes.
Miss Valerie. I remember that, Dad.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
And
"Ah."
if anybody would like to donate, because I'm always doing something for the ladies at my foundation, you can go onto our website, purplelighttouchfoundation.org.
Purple Light
Purple Light
Torch,
Touch
Touch.
Torch, Touch. Purple Light Touch Foundation.
Is that all one word?
Yes.
Purple Light Touch Foundation.
Zelle.
.org.
.org.
Yes.
PurpleLightTouchFoundation.org.
Or
Okay.
817-350-0444.
Yeah, they can Zell us. There's Cash App, Venmo is Purple Light
Touch Touch.
No,
Purple Light
Purple Light
Touch
Touch.
Foundation.
2015.
2015.
As soon as we go off the air, I am going to make a donation.
Yes, same here.
Because you
For the products,
These
yeah.
products are amazing. Get in touch with her about these products. They really do.
And book your
And
massage
this isn't
too.
nothing compared to what I've
And y'all
done.
heard
I know
energy.
it is.
Yeah.
Because we
And-
do hair products, we do everything.
Yeah,
from head
and
to
y'all
toe.
didn't get a chance. I mean, I hope y'all felt it, but her energy through her touch is just very, very magnetic, and so it's very healing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you felt that.
Well,
but
yeah, and so she would be great from get in touch with her. The clock on the wall says we don't have to go home, but we got to get the out of
Yes.
here.
And remember that this show is always brought to you by Kiss Health
Kiss.
Now and Kiss Wealth Now.
That's right.
So if y'all have a question about how to purchase a home and help me continue to be number 6 for the state of Texas,
Number one.
right?
No.
Yeah, I gotta get you number 1, right?
Exactly.
I gotta get you number
So
1,
why do
y'all.
you want to start number 6?
I don't. Help me get you number 1. 214-738-4913, right?
Yes,
See?
yeah, 214-738-4913 for all your commercial
Okay.
and residential real estate needs. And as soon as we get our engineer back here, we're going to go off the air. But in the meantime, I guess we do have to ramble a little bit because we can't go off the air until Taylor returns. So we're going to take a couple of minutes. And again, thank you, Valerie, for
No,
for
thank
coming.
you for having
And-
me.
Yeah, and thank you for what you know for helping people. Thank
Yes.
you for
That's
helping
what God has called me to do.
Yes.
That's one of the things He told me when I was going to leave England. I was going to help people. And I've stayed true to that course. In all the time I've been in this country, I've never wavered from what.
And it's not easy to help people.
No.
It's not easy because I feel like I'm the same calling. There's lots of other things I could be doing.
and help those who are even ungrateful because
yes.
because perhaps they'll learn something.
Yes.
You remember the guy we were in San Francisco for her younger sister's wedding, and there's this guy on the street, and he
Oh God.
was asking me for money, and I gave him some money, and then he wasn't, I think I gave him $6-7, and then he wasn't happy with that, and he started following me around, and you got on this walking suit, and you and I said, look,
You gotta get on somewhere, man.
and I was like, look, you can give me the $7 back.
yeah.
Did he give it you
No,
back?
he didn't
No,
give it back.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, but it's just the mindset.
So that was a case of someone being ungrateful, but still, I'm glad I helped him, and perhaps
Right.
he learned the value.
That's right. Well, he did because he brought himself a burger.
Yeah.
That, right, or he got some
Right.
yeah,
Or
right.
whatever. So,
Yeah, or whatever it is.
Or he
Yeah.
got him some holistic herbs. No, I'm
Yep.
just-
So
you just never know. But
yes, yeah, and right? You never know. It could be an angel
And-
to help him.
in life, it's never, when you help someone, it's not for us to look back.
no.
Because God has already told us, always keep going forward because there's always going to be somebody else who needs help.
And if you hang on to what you did for somebody yesterday,
That's right.
you'll be missing the opportunity to be a blessing to someone
To
today,
somebody else.
and to be blessed from that.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
being a blessing to someone is a seed that we reap harvest from.
You know what I mean? Because even with me going through all my traumas, everything, and what I've gone through with domestic violence, I don't hold it
Okay.
against the people that's hurt me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now
Because
that-
I've used that
to
to help me.
empower you.
Because that's why if you look at my arm where I nearly had it sliced off, but look at how many people I've helped by
Yep.
doing massages. I shouldn't be touching anyone.
So again, go to purplelightTouchFoundation.org. Now that Taylor's back, we're going to officially go off the air. We will see
Thank
you
you for having me.
next
Thank you.
next week, same facts time, same facts channel, and until then,
Love yourself so you can love somebody else.
there you go. See you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Okay,
Bye, y'all.
bye.
Hey, this is
Thank
Charlie,
you.
This is JR.
host of Speaking the Facts with Charlie and JR, broadcasting